outset, it's my privilege to be part of NSFI's event of Global Agri Connect 2018. Respected Shri Pramod Kumar Joshi ji on the dais, Shri Shantanu Mitra ji, Shri Nitin Puri ji, Shri Sanjeev Asthana ji, and Sai Krishna ji, respected ladies and gentlemen, very important stakeholders on the issue which we are discussing today. I will start with a very small anecdote on when we were young and we used to study Hindi. We used to have a phrase, "Jaan hai to jahan hai," which meant if the life is there, then the environment is there. And today we have "Jahan hai to jaan hai." So if the atmosphere, if the environment is not conducive for human life, then we are gone. So that is the challenge of climate change which we are now facing, and we are grappling with it. And that's why the Millennium Development Goals of UN has changed to Sustainable Development Goals, where India has committed a lot, and we are putting a policy perspective also in those lines. And another issue is, in fact, I was in a workshop, and the convener of the workshop just asked us to do a small experiment. He said that just sit for 2 minutes and think about people who are near and dear ones, close relatives, friends, who have suffered cancer. Just write it down. And the numbers were mind-boggling. In India, we used to think that if we can live a life without smoking, without excessive drinking, and living a very pious life, we will be away from cancer. But that's not the case. We have seen such people having cancer. Stories of people who had lived very disciplined life having cancer. And it's because of the air pollution, the water pollution, and the food pollution. So all these issues are challenges for us, but they are also opportunities. Now, with this background, of course, we have the issue of 17% of GDP contributed by 45% of workforce in India, which means that farmers, the agricultural laborers, are really stressed, and they have a maximum brunt of, they bear the maximum brunt of climate change, weather changes. And that's why we have so much of agitations going on various issues, and that's why government is forced to have policies which are farmer-friendly, meeting all the aspects, the challenges. But the Honorable Prime Ministers had announced that we are trying to double the farmers' income by 2022 and 23. Now, how to double the farmers' income is, everybody is aware that there are a lot of discussions going on. The three basic strategies. First is to increase production or productivity, which again is being challenged by this issue of climate change. The second is reducing the input costs for most optimal utilization of inputs, again where climate change comes in. And the third is improving marketability of the produce, where again this is an issue because losses has to be reduced. Losses, post-harvest losses also are affected by climate change. For all the three issues, we are having policies. And policies are being implemented in the last 2-3 years. I will just highlight a few challenges and maybe some thought about how can we move forward, and maybe it can be discussed in the future also. So for example, in the input issues are the major issues, sustainability issues. We have on one side the food pesticides in the food causing cancers, research studies going on. So there is a market for organic farming. So we have the Paramparagat Krishi Vikas Yojana, which is promoting organic farming in the Northeast as well as in other states. We are moving forward, and now the innovation here is how the private sector can come in, ensure traceability, sustainability of those. Because what happens is farmers are wary about organic farming. They are so much used to chemical fertilizers that once they convert into vermicomposting or whatever nadir pits or whatever it is, the different stage of biofertilizers or organic fertilizers, there may be a slight dip in production or productivity of 1 or 2 years or third year, and they are wary about whether what is being produced will be of the same value or not. But here, if the private sector comes in, And there are people coming who have aggregated farmer groups doing organic farming, taking their produce, and you have the world market, which is twice, thrice more prices being given to the farmer. So here comes a partnership where we are addressing the climate change issue by reducing dependence on pesticides and chemical fertilizers. We are ensuring doubling of farmers' income, sustainable agriculture, and we are also ensuring the corporate sector plays its role. So that could be a partnership. Then the second issue is, of course, the micro-irrigation. We have about out of 1,800 lakh hectare land, which is agriculturable, we have only about 680 lakh hectares, which is irrigated on different sources. And till now, we have only 24 lakh hectares, which is under micro-irrigation. Our target is to reach 200 lakh in next 5 to 6 years, which requires a lot of investments. And we are doing it. Micro-irrigation, we are undertaking those which is again a sort of our response to the sustainability of water. Here also, a lot of private sector participation is possible to reduce the cost, because we can't give 100% subsidy to farmers. We are giving 45%, 55%. Some state governments are doing top-up subsidies also. But if in terms of, by the scale, if we can reduce the cost, having some innovations, then there'll be more adoption of micro-irrigation, which will reduce the dependence on water, and whether it is a surface water irrigation or whether it is tube well-based irrigation. And then if the water per drop more crop issue is vision is met, then we can have more and more command area with the same level of irrigation potential. So that again is a challenge and also an opportunity for government, the farmer, and the private sector to come together and have innovations. Third, I will just highlight the soil health card. Now, soil health card scheme is one of very ambitious scheme of this government. And the purpose is to reduce, have optimal utilization of fertilizers. We have distributed 10 crore soil health cards in first round, and the second round, the second cycle is going on where 6 to 8 crore are being distributed now, till now. But the point is, when it comes to, yes, earlier farmer used to say कि हमको soil health card नहीं मिला अभी तक. Now farmers are saying कि नहीं मिल तो गया, लेकिन आगे क्या? So we have reached, now the issue is कि what to do with that soil health card. So it's now the issue is of extension, of discussion with the farmers, of using technology to disseminate what is the best possible way to use the soil health card to change their cropping pattern, to improve the crop by even have the same level of crops by reducing the fertilizers which are not required, which are being unaccessibly used because of their tradition, because of their, and the soil health has changed from there. So these are the, again, challenge where micro enterprises can develop, where small level soil testing labs can be developed as micro enterprise, and then they can not only give the soil health card, do the soil health, sampling, but also educate the farmers on what to do, what not to do. Again, innovation where we are going, where we are sort of meeting the climate resilient issues, but also having a private sector and also having farmers in mind. So these are the few thoughts which came. And what I feel is that to meet these challenges, the problem in India vis-a-vis other countries is that the land holdings are very small. So we have 1.1 hectare land, hectare per fragmented holding per farmer, per household. So it's difficult to reach each, and then we have, coupled with it, we have the problem of tenancy, the tenant holders. And that is one of the biggest challenges of this country, because all the schemes are based on the ownership of the land, whether it's the Fasal Bima Yojana, the crop insurance scheme, whether it's the credit, whether it's a subsidy on any issue, it is based on the farmer who holds tenants' rights. Now, tenants has no right. Bataidar hai, karte hain kaam kuch, and they bear the maximum risk. So we have taken this forward with the states that we have to recognize this issue. So we have a Model Land Leasing Act forwarded by Niti Aayog to the states. We have the Contract Farming Act, Model Contract Farming Act, sent by Ministry of Agriculture to the states. So these, we have to develop some sort of, as a group, a pressure on the states, because it's agriculture being the state subject, land being the state subjects. We are taking it with the states to please adopt these measures. Some states are adopting progressive states, and they are bearing the fruits. Because unless we have economy of scales in agriculture, aggregation, and aggregation is only possible where there is a a very, very effective relationship between the contractor and the landholder, the tenant or the landholder. And there we can have farmer FPCs, FPO farmer groups, the self-help groups of women, which are already there. And then then the private sector it's easier for them to interact with the private sector to have economy of scales, have innovations, improve the farmer's income, and also the scaling up issue which was raised earlier, the technologies are not being scaled up. It's because of lack of interaction with the organized farmer groups rather than individuals. So that again is a challenge. And I feel that if we are able to have this sort of aggregation of farmers in groups who can then have more awareness generation among them, and the corporates can also interact with them and have better technology dissemination. That is another challenge we can discuss and we can take it forward. Government is taking it forward. These are my random thoughts on the issue, and I wish all success to this forum, and we hope that whatever is discussed in the next technical sessions will give a good perspective and everybody will go enriched, and government will also be enriched by their inputs which will be provided in terms of the recommendations, and we'll take it forward. Thank you very much.